Today, humans could be said to be 1,000,000 times smarter than our ancestors, able to create artificial intelligence, manipulate matter at the atomic level, or launch probes beyond the solar system. Yet, if we view our civilization through the lens of the Kardashev Scale, a measure of advancement based on energy harnessing capability, we are still among the most foolish beings. And if one day we reach the highest level, able to control earthquakes, harness tsunamis to generate electricity, or even terraform entire planets in the solar system, what would remain when there are no more limits, no more suffering, no more desire? Would that existence still be considered human? In 1964, Nikolai Kardashev created a new scale for measuring human civilization based on the amount of energy a planet can harness. This was one of the most influential works in the scientific community at the time, helping to establish the reputation of the Russian astronomer. He developed his theory from the idea that extraterrestrials could transmit cosmic radio signals to exchange information. According to Kardashev, there are 3 types of cosmic civilizations. Type I can control all energy resources of their planet. Type 2 harnesses the total energy of a star. And Type 3 commands all the resources of a galaxy. Though seemingly vague, these ideas are gradually becoming reality. Photovoltaic panels have already converted sunlight into electricity, and the vision of harvesting stellar energy using surrounding structures was described by scientists like Dyson and Freeman many decades ago. Later on, astronomer Carl Sagan proposed using Arabic numerals instead of Kardashev's Roman numerals to allow for more detailed classification of civilization levels. He calculated that Type 1 corresponds to a power output of 10 to the power of 16 watts, equivalent to the total solar energy reaching Earth. And from there, Type 2 and Type 3 scale up to 10 to the power of 26 and 10 to the power of 27 watts, respectively, 10 to the 36th power watts respectively, based on a base 10 logarithmic formula divided by 10. In 2015, humanity was ranked at level 0.72 with an energy consumption of about 1.7 times 10 to the power of 13 watts. In 1800, we only reached 0.58, and by 1900, it was 0.61. This is still a modest growth rate compared to long-term potential. If 2015 energy usage were evenly distributed worldwide, each person was using about 2,300 watts. This number is insignificant compared to the technological potential we're approaching. One valuable use of the Kardashev scale is to help visualize the energy roadmap in the near and distant future. If consumption grows steadily at 1% per year, planetary level would be reached in 600 years. Stellar level in 680 years, about 3,000 years, and galactic level would require 5,000 more years. These are indeed daunting figures when considering our current physical limitations. Even though we know that growth cannot continue forever due to limitations in living space, materials, and resources, history has proven that human creativity is limitless. We still don't know whether we can overcome our current boundaries. But if another civilization exists somewhere out there, it would open a new chapter in human awareness. This is what observatories and telescopes have been striving to detect every day. Kardashev's hypothesis has now been expanded to 7 levels. Not only in terms of signal transmission technology, but also incorporating other factors. Humanity today hasn't even reached the first level yet, because we have only just begun to access and exploit a tiny fraction of the energy available from our planet. This includes fuels such as wood, coal, and oil, finite resources that also harm the environment. If humanity reaches Type 1, we would be able to fully control all forms of energy on Earth. At that point, fossil fuels would become a thing of the past, completely replaced by renewable sources like wind, sunlight, and hydropower. Since energy would be abundant and easily accessible, electricity bills might no longer exist in such a civilization. Using energy would be as effortless as breathing air. We might even be able to control weather patterns, create rain for drought-stricken regions, and revive dead, arid lands. The atmosphere could be returned to a carbon-neutral state, ending global warming. Damage from natural disasters would be significantly reduced, thanks to accurate predictions of when and where they will occur. Furthermore, humans could live in places once considered uninhabitable, such as beneath the ocean or in extreme climates. Life in a Type 1 society would be incredibly ideal, but it is precisely because of that perfection we might gradually start to feel bored. The increasingly severe developments of climate change could hinder this progress, especially as the world still hasn't acted quickly or decisively enough to counter it. Therefore, to reach the first level on the civilization's scale, humanity needs a radical shift in how we approach and apply energy. Imagine if we could fully harness sunlight, wind, and every natural motion to power the entire planet. It may sound like a distant dream, but it's gradually becoming a reality thanks to a tech company called HillCrest in Canada. They are leading the global transformation using clean energy in a breakthrough that has never before appeared in human history. From powering next-generation electric vehicles to redesigning the power grid, HCR is opening the door to a superior smart era. A standout example is the ZVS inverter, a device that converts electricity with near-perfect precision and efficiency. While solar panels generate direct current, most devices in our daily lives run on alternating current. That difference requires an intermediate conversion system. And this is where ZVS technology truly shines. This device can minimize energy loss, delivering up to 99.7% efficiency, allowing electric vehicles to charge faster, travel farther, and enabling homes, offices, and data centers to rely on clean resources without worrying about waste, not stopping at current improvements. HCR continues to push technological boundaries to new heights. They recently unveiled a smart control system, enhancing the responsiveness and operational efficiency of the ZVS inverter. And that's not all. HillCrest has also partnered with Ocean Batteries to research power solutions for ships and marine vehicles. It can be said that while humanity is still dreaming of harnessing energy from billions of stars, HCR has already laid the first foundational stones for that hope. So what would happen if humanity keeps progressing and becomes a Type 2 civilization? At that stage, we could fully harvest energy from the sun and use it not only on Earth, but throughout the entire solar system. That kind of power would allow us to travel to Mars, terraform the red planet, and even transform Neptune into a new habitat to reach Type 1. Humanity must harness every form of energy available on Earth. But to ascend to Type 2, we must access the full output of energy emitted by the Sun every second. To do this, we would need to construct a colossal structure surrounding our central star. This is the Dyson sphere, a system of satellites encircling the Sun entirely to collect energy without interruption. Yet before laying the foundation for this cosmic marvel, humanity must first solve the problems threatening our own home. Currently, we are under threat from all directions, from climate change to war, pandemics, and drifting asteroids in space. Hit like if you believe the future is still in our hands. Regarding celestial bodies, NASA is currently carrying out the DART project with the goal of controlling the trajectories of near-Earth asteroids. In 2021, they launched an artificial satellite to collide directly with Dimorphos, a small satellite orbiting the much larger Didymos. This action altered the rotation velocity of both bodies, thereby shifting the asteroid's orbit just enough to steer it away from Earth, creating the first human-triggered meteor shower in history. If the DART project succeeds, it will be a stepping stone, bringing humanity closer to Type 1, and perhaps beyond if we're fortunate. Imagine if we could harness the full power of the Sun. Every cosmic threat could be wiped out instantly. If necessary, we could even shift Earth's orbit away from danger zones to avoid impact, thanks to the Dyson swarm. Adjusting the temperature of individual planets would become feasible by redirecting streams of radiation. This technology would open a new chapter, terraforming other worlds and turning them into second homes for humanity. Space would no longer be a limit, but the next destination for those seeking to leave Earth. You could go skiing on Mars this weekend and watch the sunrise on Saturn the next. A Type 2 society would turn space travel from an exclusive privilege into a public service, as accessible as booking a domestic flight today. Currently, boarding a space mission costs millions of dollars, but in the future, that price tag will no longer be a barrier. Next, the Dyson swarm could help regulate sunlight to cool the Earth, allowing the climate to become cleaner and humans to live healthier lives. However, to reach that future, we must begin with the smallest actions today. If we can't solve the crises of the present, reaching Mars will forever remain a dream. To fly far, we must first stand firm, and Earth is our first launch pad. And if we become members of the Type 3 Civilization Club, those privileges would only be the beginning. According to many optimistic predictions, it may take several thousand years to reach Type 2, and from 100,000 to even 1,000,000 years to master the entire galaxy. So when we finally reach that threshold, how will life change? With the ability to absorb energy from any planet or star, we could choose where to live at will. Humanity could even redesign Earth, or create an entirely new solar system based on personal preferences. Envisioning a planet with turquoise seas, white sand, and eternal warmth is completely achievable, or a world covered in giant mushrooms could emerge at your command. To truly become a Type 3 civilization, we would need to construct Dyson swarms that envelop the entire Milky Way. At that point, biotechnology would reach its ultimate limit, and humans could become mechanized beings, a fusion of living intelligence and machines. No one would be able to tell who is human and who is robot. All would simply be upgraded versions of themselves. In recent decades, scientists have developed electrode implants that allow paralyzed individuals to control prosthetic limbs using brain signals, or even implant special sensors into the skull that convert color into sound, transforming vision into hearing. And the greatest ambition right now lies in the Neuralink project, where humans can connect their brains directly with artificial intelligence. Just imagine how far that technological evolution could take us in the next million years. To travel faster than the speed of light, reshaping the biological body will be unavoidable. However, all of this remains hypothetical, because AI is evolving faster than anything previously imagined. Before long, robots may surpass humans in both thinking and population, and view us as outdated, weak beings. If we're lucky, they might preserve humanity as pets or as biological research subjects. Otherwise, we'll be forced to adapt, casting aside emotions and morality to survive in a world ruled by machines. At that point, AI could replicate itself endlessly, capable of wiping out entire planets without a shred of mercy for any living being, with near limitless energy. Such a civilization would begin approaching Planck energy, a force embedded deep within the structure of space-time itself. At that physical scale, all existing laws would become obsolete and outdated. According to the theory of relativity, faster-than-light travel is impossible. But if we reach the Planck scale, humanity could unlock space-spanning wormholes. At that point, the very concept of resource management would disappear, because resources would be so abundant that there'd be no need to calculate or conserve. Humanity would come close to becoming an all-powerful entity, possessing biotechnology that enables immortality and immunity to all harm. Any remaining problems could be erased with a mere snap of the fingers. Yet no matter how deeply we exploit it, the resource vault of an entire galaxy would eventually run dry. At that point, to survive and continue evolving, humanity would be forced to reach further, to explore realms of the universe never before imagined or accessed. Upon entering Type 4, human civilization would approach a godlike state. We could build massive structures, capable of harnessing all energy in the observable universe, which spans up to 93 billion light-years in diameter. If the multiverse theories are true, then every parallel reality could become a new power source. At that time, humanity would possess the tools to tap into the strangest energy ever theorized, even forms of energy that current science cannot yet define. At that level, ideas once confined to science fiction, such as faster-than-light travel and gravity manipulation, could become reality. It's hard to imagine what humans would look like upon reaching such a pinnacle of civilization. Every leap in the evolutionary process would bring about a complete transformation in perception, thought, and social order. However, one thing is almost certain. Labor would become an outdated concept. All tasks, from production to management, would be entirely handed over to machines and artificial intelligence, and humans would have full control of their time for learning, experiencing, or doing whatever they desire. Therefore, Type 4, civilization is not an absolute paradise. It comes with immense responsibility over the universe we command. Humans would have to maintain the stability of the massive forces they manipulate every second. And if there are other advanced civilizations out there in space, We would have to learn how to coexist peacefully and share power with them. Even if we can't live long enough to witness that moment, you may still wonder, if we gain control over the entire universe, what would give life meaning anymore? We would be able to see every hidden corner of space and create reality as we wish. If you believe reaching Type 4 is difficult, then Type 5 will cause all boundaries to collapse completely. At that point, what we once called humans will have become metaphysical beings, far beyond the concept of intelligence or self. They will design entire universes with customizable parameters, like a new simulation game. Objects will be created for specific purposes, such as environments, experimental programs, performance spaces, or simply playgrounds for omnipotent minds, no longer bound by a single dimension of existence. They will become permanent residents of countless interwoven layers of reality. At Type 5, acting within a single universe is merely the beginning. Their power will span the entire multiverse. All known abilities, from manipulating matter, absorbing energy, to controlling time, will be amplified thousands of times over. Yet beyond even that peak, there still exist unfathomed depths no one has reached. Type 6, civilization opens an era no longer based on physical form, but one existing as pure consciousness. Every being might become a stream of free energy, passing through layers of reality, each timeline becoming a branching river into which we can dive, swim upstream, or restructure as we please. You would not only witness the mysteries of the cosmos, but also be able to recreate such moments at will. Dreams would no longer be necessary, because every idea could become reality instantly, at the highest level of consciousness. What drives you to live might no longer be desire, but the instinct to create, and ultimately, with everything imaginable across all 7 levels, every concept, even will itself, would dissolve into the void. This is Type 7 civilization, the very end of evolution, and also the beginning of a new, unnamed cycle. At this point, the idea of controlling the universe is no longer scientific theory, but a reality beyond measurement. It means such a civilization could master all dimensions, both real and imagined. By then, humanity, or rather, the beings evolved from humanity, would no longer be bound by matter or metaphysical constraints. Our new form of existence would follow no shape at all. This is what we can imagine today, but in the future, it may evolve in countless unforeseen ways, though this vision sounds mesmerizing, dazzling, and extraordinary. One must wonder, is it truly worth pursuing to the very end? No more warmth of family, no more joy in struggle, only the untouchable force of absolute power. We would create new universes, granting ourselves the role of creator in a system we built with our own hands. Earth would have become a memory, the universe conquered, and the omniverse resting gently in our grasp. So what comes next? Is there still anything left to dream of, to desire, to fight for? In just a blink of human history, we have made a spectacular leap, from crude hands pulling plows in the fields to now commanding streams of energy from nuclear reactions, waterfalls, the sun, and countless other sources. The question is no longer how far we've come, but where the limit of evolution might lie. Yet all of this remains theory, or visions of a distant future, after millions of years. Perhaps it's time we step away from the infinite and return our gaze to something closer. A world where humanity learns to fully harness the energy of Earth. A future that seems possible, challenging, but worth living for. If humanity enters Type 1, not with power, but with responsibility. If you found this journey intriguing, leave a comment with your thoughts. Give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye, and see you in the future.